Cities leave undimmed by human tears. America, oh America, God shed His grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Good morning, and welcome to the town of Easton's 2020 Memorial Day ceremony. We're coming to you from Veterans Memorial Park here in Easton. With me, I have Commander Smart of VFW Post 2547 and Commander McAvoy of American Legion Post 7, along with a handful of very dedicated men and women who have come to help us honor Memorial Day. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I would now like to invite Chaplain Tom Botello for a reading of the prayer.
An Old Soldier's Prayer by Lewis Mallet. I have fought when others feared to serve. I have gone where others failed to go. I've lost friends in war and strife who valued duty more than love of life. I've seen the duty, honor, sacrifice of the soldier. Now I understand the meaning of our lives. The loss of comrades not so very long ago. So to you who have answered duty's siren call, may God bless you, my son. May God bless us all. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. I will now read Governor Baker's Memorial Day proclamation. The Commonwealth of Massachusetts, a proclamation. Whereas, while the nation was still recovering from the horrors of the Civil War, people in cities and towns across the country gathered to honor those Union and Confederate soldiers who had given their lives celebrating the first Decoration Day. And whereas, after World War I, the nation came together again to honor those who had fallen in service to their country, renamed Memorial Day, the last Monday in May, is when people remember and honor the memory of all the men and women who fought and died in all American wars and conflicts. And whereas throughout our country's history, thousands of Massachusetts citizens have fought in wars and conflicts to defend our safety and way of life, and whereas their legacy of patriotism and dedication to our country is an inspiration to all Americans, and whereas it is appropriate that all Massachusetts citizens remember the bravery of those who gave their lives so that their sacrifices serve as a reminder of the cost of our freedom. Now, therefore, I, Charles D. Baker, Governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, do hereby proclaim May 25th, 2020 to be Memorial Day, and urge all the citizens of the Commonwealth to take cognizance of this event and participate fittingly in its observance. Given at the Excellence Executive Chamber in Boston, this first day of May in the year 2020 and of the independence of the United States of America, the 243rd. By His Excellency, signed, Charles D. Baker, Governor of the Commonwealth. Signed, Karen E. Polito, Lieutenant Governor of the Commonwealth. And signed, William Francis Galvin, Secretary of the Commonwealth. God save the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. I'd now like to introduce Commander Jim McAvoy of the American Legion Post 7, and I'll ask him to introduce this year's parade marshal.
Good morning. Thank you, Cory. I appreciate it. Before I start, I want to take the time to thank my brothers and sisters for being here today. This is certainly a unique situation, one that we never thought we'd be in. But I want to thank Cory for putting together this little ceremony so we don't forget the men and women that paid the ultimate sacrifice. We've had Memorial Day for a long time in the town, and we're going to keep doing it no matter what. So once again, I want to thank everybody for being here. It is my great honor and pleasure to introduce our parade marshal for the parade, as you can see, the parade for 2020. I've had the opportunity to work with Commander Al Smart of the VFW on a number of projects involving veterans in the town. I can think of no man who deserves this honor more so than Commander Smart. He put together this beautiful park we have here. He was instrumental in that. He was instrumental in the tank at the VFW. He's done a tremendous amount for veterans in the community, for the VFW, the American Legion, the VA system, as well as the town of Easton. So I'm going to read this little blurb and introduce Al. After receiving a draft notice after graduating from high school to go into the Army, Al made the smart choice, enlisting in the Air Force on September 1st, 1972. After completing basic training at Lackland Air Force Base in Texas and technical administration school at Keesler Air Force Base in Mississippi, he was assigned to the 410th Bombardment Wing at K.I. Sawyer Air Force Base in the state of Michigan. In April of 1975, he was assigned to OL-A 1957 Communication Squadron at Bellows Air Force in Hawaii. In January of 1977, he was assigned to the 509th Combat Support Group, Pease Air Force Base in New Hampshire. In May of 1979, Alvin volunteered and received an assignment to the 7D-20th Air Force Group, RAF, Fairford, England, reactivating that base since it was closed by Great Britain. In January of 1981, he was assigned to the 12th Weather Squadron, Peterson Air Force Base in Colorado. In May of 1984, he volunteered and was assigned to the 601st Tactical Group, Capuan Air Station in Germany. In April of 1987, he received an assignment to the 388th Aircraft Generation Squadron, Hill Air Force Base in Utah. In March of 1990, he was assigned remote duty to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. As the only administrator, Alvin was responsible for handling all administrative and personal matters for a 10-man unit. On August 2nd, 1990, his responsibilities took on a new role. He had to bring in all military forces to the area during the initial phase and bed down of Operation Desert Shield, which was crucial to the success of this operation. During Desert Shield and Desert Storm, he not only worked as the administrator and personnel manager for that unit, but met all the aircraft, briefed Air Force personnel on local conditions, provided transportation, coordinated billeting, and performed a myriad of other tasks, including helping to convoy supplies and equipment northward. On March of 1991, Alvin departed Riyadh Air Force Base, Saudi Arabia, for his last personal assignment with the 55th Special Operations Squadron, Eglin Air Force Base in Florida. He had many temporary duty assignments which he really enjoyed. A number of other assignments included Thule Air Base, Greenland, Guayaquil, Ecuador, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Kuwait, Kadena Air Force Base in Japan, Osan Air Force Base in Korea, and Udon Air Force Base in Thailand, and several sites and bases throughout Germany and England. His many decorations and awards included the Defense Meritorious Service Medal, the Meritorious Service Medal, Joint Service Commendation Medal, 5 Air Force Commendation Medals, the Air Force Achievement Medal, 5 Air Force Good Conduct Medals, 2 National Defense Service Medals, Combat Readiness Medal, Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal, Southwest Asia Service Medal with 3 Bronze Stars, Kuwait Liberation Medal, Humanitarian Service Medal, and 9 other different ribbons. He served 20 years, 5 months, and 27 days in the U.S. Air Force and retired to the community of Easton with his wife Carol and his 2 children. He has served as commander of the Veterans of Foreign Wars Post Private George F. Schindler 2547 in the town of Easton since 1996. Al has been involved in many veterans issues such as the dedications of the 21 squares around the town for veterans who have died from Easton, the Veterans Memorial Park, which I previously mentioned, that was standing on today, which included World War II veterans, Korea and Vietnam memorials, and lastly, he and I worked on getting the full-time Veterans Service Officer position established in the town after for many years we had a part-time one. And for that, I'm particularly proud to work with Al on as we were able to accomplish that. So without further ado, once again, I said it was my great pleasure to introduce Commander Al Smart as this year's Parade Marshal for Memorial Day 2020.
Thank you, Jim. I appreciate it. I want to thank all of the Easton veterans for nominating me for the Parade Marshal. I really appreciate it. It's a great honor. I want to thank everybody here for all their hard work over the years. And especially I want the town to remember Memorial Day, even in these times. You know, remember all of the veterans for their sacrifice, especially those who paid the ultimate sacrifice, because we need to continue to do that. So again, thank you. Continue to support the veterans. Continue to support the veterans projects. And I, again, thank you very much. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Commander McAvoy, and a special thank you to you, Commander Smart, for all that you've done over the years for our veterans. You are truly going to be missed, and we wish you well in your next chapter. You set a great example for all of us that come after you to try to carry on the legacy that you've made here in Easton. Out of an abundance of caution, we're unable to invite our state delegates, select board members, and other local leadership, but they send their kind regards. Commander McAvoy, would you please read in Flanders Field?
In every parade, Commander Smart and I introduce or remember all the veterans who died in the various conflicts. And we thought it was appropriate this year, we're going to read the roll. We usually do it, we alternate, but since we have to practice social distancing, I'm going to read the parade poem, and then I'm going to read some of the names, and then Commander Smart will take over and we'll finish it there. But I think it's appropriate, since I am going to introduce the World War I veterans, or remember the World War I veterans that passed away, that I read probably the most poignant and the world's most recognized Memorial Day poem and symbol, which is the red poppy, for soldiers who died in conflict. Colonel John Mccrae was a Canadian physician in World War I. During the battle in 1915, in honor of his best friend who died in this battle, he penned this poem. He originally threw the poem away, and one of his colleagues retrieved it, and it was since published. As I stated, it's probably one of the most recognized poems in the history of literature. And it's called In Flanders Fields. It speaks of the dead's, it's written from the perspective of the soldier who has passed or killed in battle. It was written from their point of view, and it serves as a command to the living to press on, to remember all of our fallen comrades during the various conflicts. He wrote the poem because when he buried his friend in a makeshift grave, they put a white cross next to the grave. And as time grew on during the next couple months, red poppies grew up between the cross and the grave. Therefore, he wrote this poem called In Flanders Fields. In Flanders Fields, the poppies blow between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks still singing bravely fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Field. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch, be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Fields. I'm now going to read the honor roll of the veterans who died from the town of Easton during World War I. Winifred Skidmore Knowles, Camp Devens, April 3rd, 1918. George Searle Shepherd, Villers-Tournelle, France, May 4th, 1918. George Francis Schindler, Bellewood, France, July 18th, 1918. Oliver Ames Jr., Merci Farm, France, July 29th, 1918. Excuse me. Jeremiah F. Sullivan, Camp Upton, September 25th, 1918. Chester Rice Smith, Northeastern, October 1st, 1918. Lawrence Howard Swift, Fort Bliss, October 18th, 1918. George Philip Workman, Boston, December 15th, 1918. Now I'm going to turn it over to Commander Smart.
Veterans who died during World War II. Patrick F. Shea, Jr., Italy, July 16, 1943. Oliver Ames Parker, Hamilton Field, California, July 24, 1943. Frank W. Hewitt, England, March 13, 1944. Anthony Ponce, France, August 21, 1944. Robert E. Hagelin, France, September 30th, 1944. John Texera, France, October 26, 1944. Albert E. Ham, France, November 9th, 1944. Stanley H. Smith, England, November 21st, 1944. Evan Sharp, Wilmington, Delaware, March 12, 1945. Anthony F. Souza, missing in flight off Charleston, South Carolina, April 11, 1945. Robert E. Chisholm, Germany, April 17, 1945. Paul E. Farrell, Honshu Island, Japan, December 25, 1945. Brian Nolan, Pacific Area, May 11, 1946. Robert F. Fernandez, Korea, June 21, 1948. Veterans who died during the Korean War. Robert F. Thompson, Baltimore, Maryland, June 19, 1953. Veterans who died during the Vietnam War. Edward F. Smith, Vietnam, February 4, 1967. Robert J. Todd, Vietnam, May 9, 1967. Kenneth W. Skelly, Vietnam, May 26, 1970. Veterans who died in the service of their country. Leo P. Healy, Nicaragua, February 17, 1931. James T. Victoria, Germany, November 24, 1983. Owen M. Mccrae, Germany, November 12, 1988. Sean M. Turco, Florida, September 29, 1992. Elsa L. Trentholm, Orlando, Florida, September 24, 1992. Staff Sergeant William J. Callahan, Al Anbar Province, Iraq, April 27, 2007. Color Guard, Tanch, Hut. Present, Holmes. Order, home.
Thank you all for being here with us virtually today from home. Today we honor the sacrifice of the men and women who have gone before us and given their lives in service to our country. I also ask that you keep in mind those currently serving near and far. Keep in mind the families that have lost a loved one in service to their country, the surviving spouse who lives alone. Today's the day to pay tribute, to honor, and to respect that sacrifice. I'd like to give a special thank you to ECAT for being here to film and broadcast this event so we did not miss an opportunity to honor Memorial Day. I'd like to thank the commanders of our veteran service organizations, Commander Al Smart and Commander Jim McAvoy, for their help in planning this special ceremony. This is the definition of adapt and overcome, something that we learned while we were in service. I'd also like to thank all residents who participated in our Decorate the Door and Window displays as a show of support from a distance in lieu of being here for the parade. Lastly, please do not forget to check on your family, friends, and neighbors during this time of uncertainty. If there are any veterans in town who are in need, please have them get in contact with me, and I'll do everything I can to help them. So with that, please have a safe and meaningful Memorial Day. Thank you.